Good day. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. And we are really excited about this episode. This is another initiative by the Association of Independent Publishers in sharing information. And today, we're not going to be talking about technology, we're not talking about AI. We're really going back into the traditional media, which is newspapers. We're really excited to have our guest here today, Anetta Mangxaba from the Dizindaba newspaper in the Western Cape, and she will be sharing with us her process and also unpacking ABC. And we're not talking about ABC from primary school, we're talking about the Audit Bureau of Circulation of South Africa. So Anetta will be sharing a little bit more about her process with regards to the MDDA and ABC project, with aims to certify newspapers, especially those in the Association of Independent Publishers stable, but also those that are independently owned across the country. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Anetta. Anetta will unpack the newspaper, but also will do an introduction about herself, and also where her newspaper is being distributed, how many copies, what language they actually publish in. So, Anetta, without further ado, thank you so much for availing yourself. So, if you could just introduce yourself and also your publication with regards to what it is that you guys are doing in the Eastern Cape.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Anetta Mangxaba, publisher of Dizindaba, iphephandaba lesiXhosa, that is based in the Western Cape, founded in 2010. A brainchild or a baby that came because of MDDA funding. We have printed over the years, over 200,000 copies, and we circulate every second week of the month and every last week of the month. 10,000 copies per edition, ranging from an 8-page to a 12-page tabloid. We have recently added, the publication started off as a solely isiXhosa publication, which only had the sport in English. But now, because we want to service and be inclusive of readership, we have now included English and Afrikaans as well. So the paper now is multilingual. And we are based in the Western Cape, servicing the Cape Peninsula as well as the Cape Winelands.
Oh, fantastic. So can you just share about who you are? You're the publisher, you're the owner of the publication, but also you are the chair of AIP as well and other boards. So if you could just maybe just give a little introduction about who you are as well.
Yes, so Anetta is the co-founder of Dizindaba. I founded the business together with my husband. It is called Dizindaba Media, but I am now the sole owner of Dizindaba Media. We saw it as an opportunity of women empowerment, and yes, this is who we are.
Oh, fantastic. So let's get straight to it. So ABC, do you know about the ABC before, with regards to the initiative that MDDA is doing right now with the ABC? And also just unpack your knowledge before that, and also why you actually made and was selected as one of the applications to undergo this project.
So we didn't know about ABC when we initially started, but when we were introduced to ABC, we felt it is important for us to be certified, because we felt as a business, this would put us in a better space to be recognized in the industry. However, our understanding initially was not what we understand now about ABC. We thought if you are ABC, you automatically get advertising, but unfortunately, that reality was changed. It was not like that, but it was just more a positioning in the market, and also a strengthening tool for you as a publication to be recognized in the industry.
Sure, sure. So that's a very interesting point, because I think it goes to the initiatives that AIP is actually doing right now, which is actually unpacking and also allowing others as well to understand what the ABC is actually about. So, like what you've shared now is very interesting. May I ask,
Yes.
um, have you been asked for ABC certificates before? understanding that you were not certified before. So prior that time, did you have advertising agencies, maybe municipalities, or maybe the local mom and pop shops, or the local, call it cash and carries around the community? Have they asked you for ABC certificates before?
To be honest, Chris, not everyone asks you for it, but there are some agencies that do require you to be ABC. Like, for example, the CAPROs most recently have, over the years, they have wanted us to be ABC, but the others, they don't ask for it. But I must tell you, when clients, advertisers, readers see that you are ABC, it gives you that credibility in the market, that you are at least recognized by someone, and you, the figures that you give to your clients, you can substantiate them with the evidence that you are audited, and that's what better positions you as a publication.
I'll put you on the spot right now because I understand and I know that you have actually been ABC certified, but under the grassroots
Yes,
certification. Now you
yes,
are ABC certified. So it's two different things. Maybe you can
yes.
unpack that before we go into the crux of what everyone wants to know, which is what was the process, etc. So let's just unpack grassroots and also the normal certification based on your understanding.
Okay, so with the grassroots, I would say it's a more lighter process. When I say lighter, I mean it's not intense as with the full certification, because with the grassroots, the ABC don't go in depth as to go to your distribution points, requests from you, letters from your distribution points, visit you personally at your office space. That's not part of the process. What they, however, do, you do submit your print invoices, you do submit your delivery notes, and you do submit your distribution areas. So, and then also they verify this with your printers. So your printers have to, on a separate letter besides your invoices, um, authenticate that you are really printing, and that letter also goes to the ABC. But with this full process, you get a visit from ABC first, where they come to explain to you the whole process, how it works, what will be required from you, and how it leads up to you being recognized. And this, besides the fact that it's published with their quarterly stats, and people can see, um, advertisers, readers, whoever wants this information, but it really puts you now at a more credible position, because now what ABC does with this process, they can literally go to the point where you say you place your papers, and verify with that institution or that retailer whether you are really placing your publication there. So when we were going through the process, we had to go to literally all the clinics, all the schools, all the stores that we deal with, and we had to get these letters from them acknowledging that we are distributing the copies there and we are putting X amount of copies there. Um, it's quite an intense process, but at the end of the day, it's worthy.
Oh,
It's a worthy
fantastic.
process. Yeah, because now even the institutions where you place your copies, even though they were receiving the copies and they did not have an issue, it's now like an awakening that, oh, this is actually a serious thing, that they are placing their publication with us, and we have to recognize and acknowledge that. So it gives you that credibility also in society, and also in your distribution areas.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing that because I got some nuggets and I'm very familiar with ABC and the processes, the drop sheets, that the kind of, I don't want to call it tear sheets, but that's for advertising. But the drop sheets, the actual when you receive the papers, and also the letters that you need to get in terms of how many are the bulk drops and also what are the returns if there are any returns. So those are the kind of things that advertisers really, really, really want to be reassured that what you are printing and what you're distributing meets the target that they're actually targeting so that they can get a return on investment. So what you've said, just to crystallize it, grassroots is
Yes.
really, really based on just the print order and not really going into depth in terms of where are you distributing? Do you have letters of consent for you to distribute there? Do they verify that this is the amount that the inspectors can also go in and check you out to say, we're doing a check whether or not you are actually doing all this. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. So now, how do you see this helping you? You alluded to the fact that even the people that you're distributing to were now taking you seriously, and hopefully there could be potential advertisers then as well. But how do you see this actually helping you in the long run, being an ABC certified publication?
First of all, it's the trust. It's the trust from advertisers, it's the trust from stakeholders. When I say I print 10,000 copies, and these are my distribution points, I can say that with my chest out and really with so much confidence because I have the evidence that backs me. I no longer just have a certificate, but I have letters from stakeholders that can really vouch that we are really putting our copies there and people really do have access to our publication. And also, I must tell you, even with the grassroots, we have discovered, even amongst our peers, being ABC, even if you are grassroots or you're full ABC, it does put you in a better positions when advertisers takes decisions on who to consider for their clients' safety and to ensure that when you must print, they know they can rely on Dizindaba because Dizindaba is really printing. There's evidence, there's proof. Where's the proof? It's on ABC. They can go on the website, they will get the stats. So it's just no longer our word and our rate cards and what we say, but we can substantiate this with our grassroots certificate. And also they can go on ABC and they can see these figures. So it's
So
also that recognition.
yeah.
Yes.
So I think, sorry to cut you there, but I think I've taken some key words out of what you were saying. You're talking about
Mm.
trust, you're talking about
Yes.
credibility. You're really talking
Yes.
about accessing bigger advertisers to make purchase decisions when they want to advertise with you. And also what's really striking me here is the industry
Yeah.
recognition as well. Because the industry recognition also helps you with growth opportunities for your publication, which is amazing. And also, part
Yes.
and parcel of that, if I can just share, because ABC does issue out quarterly reports and they get published, let's say, for example, on Biz Community, and you can see the list of publications there that are ABC certified in terms of whether or not there was an uptake in percentage, in terms of you, let's say you're 10,000, now you've decided to move to a 20,000, print order. Now it gets verified. So I watch that very closely because when it comes to circulation, which is sold newspapers, and you could see a drop in circulation not only from Pretoria News, but you can see Sunday Times, their circulation starts dipping, dipping, dipping. So every quarter, the ABC can actually tabulate that and actually put it out, and we can see that. So you are now part and parcel of that list of reports. So is that your understanding as well?
Yes, I mean that's exactly my understanding. This is positioning your publication to be professional, to be accountable. You're not just accountable to your advertisers, you're accountable to your readers, you're
Yes.
accountable to your stakeholders. So it's really putting you in that industry recognition, and also it puts you at a competitive edge because I mean, if I'm ABC and the agencies don't consider me, I have the right to ask them, why don't you consider me? Because I have positioned myself to be credible. I have positioned myself to be trusted and to be professional. And when you sell me to your client or you propose me to your client, you are proposing a credible, trustworthy publication. So
Sure.
that's what you actually doing for your publication. You are positioning yourself to be recognized, to be considered, and also to ensure that people can trust you.
So let's get into the crux of it, right? In a bullet point form, what was
Yes.
the process like? So you applied, MDDA said, yes, you're one of the publications that will go through this project. And what happened?
Right. So ABC approaches me, set up the physical meeting first, and then you have to then submit. There's a quarterly submission. So the quarter, it runs on 3 months. So every quarter you get your dates. So you know exactly when to submit, and there's a time frame also for submission. So in the process of submission, you like the first one is much intense because that is where you have to now submit your letters from your stakeholders and all that if you are doing bulk dropping like we are doing. And it depends because there's bulk dropping and there's also door to door. So it depends how you're doing your distribution. Like in our case, we are doing bulk dropping. So we had to literally go to each and every point that we place and leave our publications, and we had to get a letter of endorsement that says they acknowledge that we do leave our copies there, and we leave X amount every second week of the month and every last week of the month. So those letters you submit your print invoices, you submit your distribution, because when you go to the printers, not only do you get an invoice, but you do get a delivery note as well, which
Yes.
confirms. Yes, which confirms that you received X amount of newspapers and you received additional copies, maybe 50 copies for your office copies. So all that information is so crucial for this whole process, and it needs to be documented. Then you submit your company documents because it's one of the requirements. And then you go through the whole process. There's an online portal that you have to complete. It's a form where you complete all this information, and this information must correspond with the documents that you have submitted. And then there will be the annual, which is the last part of the stage, where these figures are published, and that's the process, and people have access to this. Advertisers have access to this, and they can see if you say you're printing X amount, this is your frequency. You're not thumb sucking what you're saying. There's substantial evidence for that.
Well, that's good. And then inspectors, how often do they take the inspectors out to just tail and just to do a check?
It's all dependent on ABC. They don't like. There's the first visit. But after that, they can randomly just go to any of your stakeholders where you leave your publication. They don't have to get your authority to do that, even though you submitted letters that these people acknowledge, but they have the right to go to your Boxer store, to go to your ShopRite, to go wherever you said you are, and you receive the letter, and they can go and confirm by themselves whether you are really leaving your copies there and whether they know about it. So that's
And
the
I think
process.
that's
And they
a very
don't need your permission to do that. And it can be unannounced. So anytime they feel they want to verify your circulation and your distribution points, they do that.
That's very important, and it's a very crucial thing. And I think based on the ABC's website, it's all about transparency. It's all about accuracy, credibility, consistency. Believability. I never knew there was an actual word called believability. And also very important is comparability as well. So I think that is very important. So, Sis Anetta, thank you so much. I won't talk too much about the actual, the ABC site visit, because I think they would come through and brief you and tell you this is what is required. And through that, you have a better understanding. And I would like to believe that even outside of the MDDA, project, I'm sure that you as a publication will still continue when you are printing, and I'm hoping it's for the next 20 years, 30 years, that you will actually be certified, ABC certified, and paying those fees on a regular basis.
Chris, we've proven this before the inception of MDDA, how serious we take our business. Hence, we have all these years been a grassroots ABC recognition, and this is such a great opportunity for us to go full ABC, and we're so grateful to the ABC because it's just putting us on a new level.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Anetta, for availing yourself. And I like to keep these interviews very short because we are all in business, but lots of things are that you need to be industry recognized. And being an independent publication, knowing the understanding and understanding the importance of ABC, you being grassroots, but now being a certified ABC certified newspaper amongst all the other newspapers that get published annually or quarterly at times. I'm not sure, but you have to have a look at that. So you must go to abc.org.za to learn a little bit more about the ABC, and also do look at Sis Anetta's platform, Dizindaba newspaper online. You can type it out, it's found on Google, and also you can have access to the e-edition of that newspaper as well. But if you live in the areas that it distributes, I'm sure you're probably getting your copy. So thank you so much, Sis Anetta, for availing your time and taking this opportunity to share with all the other members.
Thank you for the opportunity, Chris.